cho nên chị mình chỉ sợ sáng là bây giờ chị chỉ sợ rất sợ ha. Thank you. Cái chỗ mà đấy. Các chị share sự đó chị you are singing. Thank you very much. Praise the Lord. And praise the Lord. Là sự vui của tôi. Tao được bé bé quan chỉ nó ha. Đi sẽ được bé sẽ ya. Yeah. Praise the Lord. Thank you. Well, our speaker this morning, paid to look at the one of Punya to call for college. I want to job to pay more just student, and may should learn to pay one to a may look bank paper and chain. Sometimes paying need may for help, may need pay for help. I want to joke, may want to Zulu may faithfully attend here, and Panaya called good Puto paper and jay, Yoto Unoha. He called the Lulita Claulo, Hamon, Wisconsin, the Lulita Honor, or Behamo, Yata Job Monto, her retreat, Kusale Josh, if he can help me, like she one of the student in TFC Lupangpe, Georgia. If you don't mind, I can help you.
Good.
With that's great. Can I preach? Ask me again, Si. Yeah. This podium is yours. Now the Sifu Machikan, drop on the podium to let the aya. She's saying, yeah, it's easy, it's open. And Peter Chijo need to hear some other student too. So it's an honor to have Josh, first time. Well done job with the Sifu. Guru Shah Khadi Jahan. Be strong. Music after my song, then and I have to go out and eat the lemon soup with cũng trai cloud cũng so young sáng tăng thôi là trong khỏi về cũng phải vô chữ sáng chứ. That's your job. This podium is yours, and may the Holy Spirit be with you and be strong and courageous. We welcome Josh.
Hello. Let me get situated here real quick. Oh man. Okay. Sau rồi nó là chỉ bỏ này cho chỉ cần đâu thế cho ya. Bây giờ真係bỏ này打頭. First off, Simon, you said I could look at you and I could talk to you.
Yes.
I'll do that. Question. What's your question? Who chose the songs for you guys? Praise worship today.
Haley did.
Haley? Oh my gosh. Like, it was so good. My gosh, the praise and worship was so good today. When I got here, I feel like everybody could hear my heartbeat. I was so nervous. Those songs just like moved me so much. It was so good, especially that last song. I've never heard that one before, but it's so good. Cause I would show seafood there, or show your board had the nature more opportunity, no? So because TFC students more so what show. Cú là tích tàu mua vào cho lúa đó lúa chuyện nó mà cái điều của hai dùng mong tự trả cái hai dùng chỉ mình cái if I stutter a lot I apologize. Thôi là em nói vào chỉ sau lúa xưa trong nó cũng số này à. Kêu man so thầu so cũng không xích luôn cho ai tại của sa pa nữa. He said that right now he's taking you guys through a victory in the word, right? Both how to win by victory. Win by the word. And so, có cho week đó giờ cũng know super the super and y'all got for sao go teach us now. Sure, what should I teach? You know the just teach what you observe. Go watch it. And the cái sống mà you go khai sư whatever's on your heart. That helped me nothing at all. The whole Bible was in my heart. I can't teach the whole Bible. You know. Luckily, we had a class, and then we just spent the whole week just dissecting this verse, and so it was really passionate on my heart. The reason why I wanted to give it to you guys is because I want to support Sifu's message. I can't really tell you guys how to win by the word because I'm still learning, but I just want to tell you guys a love story in the Bible. Cú bạn chỉ cho kinh hay mỗi thứ chỉ cho kinh khi bạn chỉ sau được thì cũng như nhẹ khi đan nên thì cũng sáng cái này ra đan nên sao The Bible found in the Word. Okay, it is in Luke 15:11-24. It says this, and he said, there was a man who had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, "Father, give me my share of property that is coming to me." And he divided his property. And he divided his property between them. Not many days later, the younger son gathered all that he had and took a journey into the far country. And there he squandered his property in reckless living. And when he had spent everything, a severe famine arose in the country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country. He sent him into the fields to feed pigs, and he was longing to be fed, but with the pods that the pigs ate, but no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, "How many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread? But I perish here with hunger. I will arise and go to my father's house, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as one of your hired servants." And he arose and came to his father, but while he was still a long way off, his father saw him and felt compassion. And he ran and embraced him and kissed him. And the son said to him, "Father, I have sinned against heaven before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son." But the father said to his servants, "Bring quickly the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. And bring a fattened calf and kill it. And let us eat and celebrate. For this my son was dead and alive again. He was lost and is now found." And they began to celebrate. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you so much for this word. Thank you so much for gathering us all here into your household, Lord Father. Thank you for giving us the freedom to just proclaim your name and to worship you without fear of persecution, Lord Father. We thank you. And Lord, as we are to dive into the word today, I pray that Holy Spirit, you may guide our thoughts, you may guide our conscience, you may guide our knowledge, Lord, and that you may continue to just counsel us and give us wisdom so we may be able to take in whatever it is that you have planted here for us, Lord. I pray that the seed may take root and that it may grow in us, that we may become bigger and better pillars for you, God. And Lord, I am only man, and if I give this word and I pollute it in any way, I pray you take it out and toss it to the wayside, Lord. For I pray that these words may speak life and breathe life into the congregation that is here to look for you and you alone. God, we thank you for your love and your grace, and we just say these things in your holy, divine, and precious name. Amen. Okay, so a little bit of context, about why Jesus was saying this. So this is when Jesus was talking to the Pharisees. So this is right after Jesus had sat down and ate with the tax collectors and all the sinners. Right? At Yesu có muốn cho cháu tiếp cho tax collector. Sao ta chỉ xin phước vì what tax collector? Họ mong là chịu cái gì?
Show shade.
Cho show shade ya. Thì mà nên thôi rồi thì tại sao thì cho the Pharisee này là the boss Yesu đưa đến rồi thì the họ biết they began talking. They began sorry, I'll talk louder. They began talking about moaning about it, saying why is this great leader, why is he hanging around with the worst of us, Like, why is he spending all his time, wasting all his efforts to hang out with those that have betrayed us, right? He told 3 parables, but this is the biggest one of the last one. So he was trying to correct the Pharisee. Why he's doing this, he's trying to explain his heart about where the Pharisees had failed to reach out. And so we as the Gentiles, or we as those who are of the least of us, I feel like we can take something from this too. So if you guys can come with me as we just dissect this, and I hope that in this dissection you guys can just find God's love in this word. All right, in all honesty, just raise a hand for all those who can understand English. But who here has already read the parable of the prodigal son? Yeah, y'all don't know more, no lie. Yeah, so to attach this to Seafield Vision to this theme. A lot of times, we shy about Seafield find victory in the word. So it's so easy for us to just read over this and just get the main theme of this. I mean, what's the theme of the prodigal son? That I am accepted, right? That no matter where I go, I can come back home. That I've got a God who loved me. That's the moral of the story. But if we just scan over it, we miss so much of God's love. We miss so much of what God is doing for us. And so that's what I hope that we can do today. So if you guys come with me as we just, I don't know if I'm going to take the whole hour, but we're just going to dive in to these words, try to talk about it. So from 11:13, Jesus says, he begins the story. There was a man who had 2 sons. The younger of them had a father, and the younger said to the father, "Give me the share of property that is coming to me." And he divided his property between them. Actually, no, let's backtrack. So the son said, "Father, give me the share of property that is coming to me." Do you guys understand what the son is saying? I don't know how to say property or like will and won't. But yeah, see, give me what's mine. What does that mean? What is the son really saying? All right, let's see here. All the teens and high schoolers, do you guys believe that your parents are saving up a fund for you guys to go to college? No? We would like to believe it, right? So if you guys were to go to a parents and say, "Hey, mom, dad, stop saving it for me, just cash it out." Like, you don't need to worry about it no more. What are you really saying to them? You're basically telling them, give it to me, I don't need you no more. You don't have to wait to die. Just give me what I need, and you'll be dead to me. So in other words, son, see, that's what the son is saying. And in this passage, if we can relate it to us, how many times have we done that to God? How many times have we said, "Thanks for everything. I don't need you no more. I got this abundance of love. I have friends. I have a job. I have money. I have a house. I might have parents that are saving up college fund for me, maybe." How many times have we done this? What happens next? After this, he divided it. Not many days later, the youngest son gathered all that he had and took a journey to the far country, where he squandered his property. and reckless living. If you guys have ever, like, I didn't grow up in a church, so I guess this is a little bit of a testimony too. I didn't grow up in a church. So when I received everything when I received all the love from God, I did something really similar to this. When I found that happiness, when I found that community, and then I was just like, I'll just hang out with all the church people. They weren't that great of people. I just hang out with the church people. I have friends now. I can go play games all day. I can go, I have older people who had cars, so I didn't have to get my license until I was 18. I have people who would pay for me, so I didn't have to get a job until I was like 20. But it's an exaggeration. I don't know. I think I was like 19. But yeah, so like I had all of this. Like God gave me a huge community, so I was like, I'll just enjoy this. I don't need to do nothing else. Right? And in this, I became the ruler of my happiness. Who here has ever had that moment in their life where they thought that happiness was something that they could create? That 这幾種寫即這幾種係啲其他有個出嚟估嘛我頭，而係啲估其中寫冇事冇有空，冇就幾種寫唔啊 I'm master of my own fate. But as we see here, just like anybody else, no one has ever succeeded in trying to make their own happiness. If that were the case, we'd all be so peaceful and we'd still be in the Garden of Eden, right? I remember back then, I used to say that all the time. I was like, God, I got this, and if I fail, you got my back. You just pick me up. I'm writing my story. Let me do it. Right? And each and every time I found out that happiness is not something I can create, it's something that is provided. It's something that is given to me by grace. And so, with the same way, with the son finding himself in the dumps, if you guys have ever been in this spot of depression of like, what can I do? I'm hungry. Maybe not food, but of love, of emptiness. Hanging out with friends who are supposed to be friends, but then whenever you're around them, you feel like there's something empty inside of you. You're in a group full of people, and you can't even gel with them because you feel like you're a distance between you because you're missing something. So in 17, I'm at 14. And when he spent everything, a severe famine arose in the country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to the citizens of the country and sent him to the fields to feed pigs. In that sense, it's pretty easy. We sell ourselves to the world. All the time we do. I mean, the first time I got my job, this was the biggest lesson, is that all that we have is time. And so when we give ourselves out, we're not giving it to God, then we're giving it to the world. There's only two people that's taking it. But in 17, he came to himself and said, how many of my father's hired servants have more than enough bread? But I perish here in hunger, and I will rise to go to my father, and I will say to him, Father, I have sinned against heaven before you. Sorry. And then we get this huge thing right here, right? I'm no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me as your hired servants. And he arose and came to the Father. See, we have a beauty, and here's where the love story begins. Right? In the midst of that darkness, if you guys have ever been in that darkness, in that depression, if you guys are in that place now, it feels hopeless, right? It feels like we have nowhere to go. 我转动的是什么给种些？怎么碰碰一了？怎么碰碰一了呀？什么做给路？ But we have this opportunity as Christians. We have a Father. We have a God. And this is where the meat of this sermon is going to be. Because when we choose God, when we choose to go back to God and give Him back what He gave us, the breath of life, the love, the adoration, here's what happens. In verse 20. And he arose and came to his father. But while he was a long way off, the father saw him and felt compassion and ran and embraced him and kissed him. Do you guys understand what that's saying? It's not saying when I come to God, God embraced me and God kissed me and God loved me. That's not what it's saying. It's saying I didn't even reach God. I'm not even there yet. What did God do? He runs to me. Alright, so when I was young, we had a fair. Alright, there was a huge fair. I was like maybe like 5 or 6 or something like that. And like, because I remember I was old enough to think. So we were at the fair. Yes. When you're younger than 4, you can't think. That's my head canon. But I was at the fair. And so like I remember I was hanging out with some of my uncles, and I was petting like the rabbits and stuff at the petting zoo, right? And then as I was hanging out there, I turned around and all of them were gone. So I was lost, right? I don't know if you guys have ever been lost, but it's like the scariest feeling in the world. I was lost, and I was like, I don't know where they are. And so I don't know why, but I was so strong. I was like, I guess I'll just walk around. So I started walking around the fair, and going to all the places that we've been before, and they weren't there. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just walk home. Yeah, true story. I said I'll just walk home, and then maybe they already went home, you know. And so we didn't live that far from the fair. You had to cross like a street that was super busy. It was like 2 lanes going like against each other, and so I remember I have vivid memories of like watching a car go past and then walking to the dotted yellow line in the middle of the street and waiting for the next car to go by before I walked to the sidewalk where they had like a little medium in the middle, and then I would do the same thing on the other side. I don't know why no car stopped, but I got home. But yeah, God was with me. But I got home, and then I was like I got to the house and nobody was there, and so I was like super sad. I got super depressed, and I was like, they're not home. I was like, I wonder where they are. Maybe I have to stay here. So I just sat there for like an hour. Maybe it was only like 5 minutes, but I felt like an hour. And then I had the best idea in the world. Maybe they're still at the carnival, so I went back. So I went back to the carnival. It didn't happen. They weren't there, so I was walking around. I was like, and I got really sad. I was like, what if they left me? Like I knew mom and dad was struggling, you know, and I'm about to go to school. So what if they can't afford me and they kind of left me? So I was like, yes, these are the thoughts that are in my head. So I was like, okay, it's okay. And I was like, maybe I'll just go live under the car. Let's go do that. So I turned around and I walked back home once again through the street. And then when I got to the other side, I heard, Josh! I was like, huh? I turned around and like from a far distance away, I saw my mom. And you just see her booking it towards me. Like, my mom is, well, back then she was like really big, but like my mom was like this tall. And so like, she must have been like jumping because she covered like a span of like a mile, like 4 steps. But like she ran so fast. And then she got to me and she said, where have you been? And then in my head, I was like, oh, I thought you guys left. But when I opened my mouth, tears came out of my eyes, and I was like, I couldn't say anything, but I was so happy. I couldn't even move. She ran to me. Like, she ran to me. I didn't even know that I was lost. I didn't even know that I was scared. I didn't know that I was sad. I didn't know that I was missing her. I didn't know that I was afraid until I saw her, and then all her love just came, and it affected me so much. And God is here, like my mom. All you have to do is He's calling you. All you gotta do is just turn and say, huh? And He will run to you. Like, that's all He wants. Like the Father, He ran to His Son. God wants to run to you to where you are. It doesn't matter if you're doing so many bad things in life. It doesn't matter if, like, you know, all your friends say that you're this, you're that. Like, it doesn't matter if you're the top, like, volleyball player in the Hmong team of victory. I don't know if you guys actually have a team. But, like, It doesn't matter where you are. He wants to run to you. He wants to hold you. He wants to kiss you. That went a little harsh, but another story. Like, it doesn't matter about failing either. Because in the midst of my loss and my depression, God found me. I was out of high school. I had no hopes for college. I suck at math, and I failed math twice. 050 and 110. So for all you college students, yeah, I'm terrible at math. 050 is college algebra, by the way, so I'm pretty sure all you guys in the back, if you guys have taken it already, yeah, I failed that class. And so with the two failures, I lost my financial aid, and I couldn't go to school anymore. But then when I found the Lord, I started digging into His Word. I started talking to Him, and I was like, Sai knows this story more than anything. Like, I was just stuck in my home church, and I was more than happy. I was just gonna go TE and just become a pastor that way. And I remember talking to Sai all the time. I was like, Sai would be like, Josh, you gotta go to school, man. Like, Sai would always be like, I won't do his voice because I'm on camera. But Sai would be like, you gotta go to school, man. Like, you got to, like if you want to be a pastor, if you want to lead the congregation, you must go to school. And I remember telling him, like, dude, it's not in God's plan. It's not for me. Because, like, my money's tight. It's super far away. I've never been away from home before. And, like, I'm way too old now. So I was like, I'm not going to go. And then somehow, some way, like, I think that year, I met Gohan, who opened Crown to me. I met Sifu Mick, who like opened up like a whole bunch of doors for me. Sai came here, which opened me to Toccoa. And then like there was a Sifu that just moved into KC that was from Nyack. All of a sudden, all these doors started opening up. All of a sudden, all these gateways started opening. Man, God is good. And then He brought me here, and all the time. Yeah. But here's the next thing I want you to focus on. Because when you come home, this is what happens in verse 20. 21. And he said to his father, I have sinned against heaven before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. But the father said to his servants, quickly bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his hand and shoes on his feet. How many of you guys think that that's important? That verse. Bring quickly the best robe and put a ring on his hand and shoes for his feet. See, this is why this is where we can find the victory in the Word. See, you guys have to remember the context of where the son came from. The son had just come back from a pigsty, pig pen. He slept with pigs. He had mud and poop and everything, and sweat and maybe even blood all on him. When he came home, he didn't shower. I don't think there were showers back then. But he didn't shower. He came back and he had dirty clothes, ripped and torn, disgusting, stinking, looking like a slave. So when the father said, bring your best robe and put it on him, it isn't, who here would go outside and like roll in the mud and then like, oh man, I'm so dirty. Let's put a new shirt on so it covers up the mud. Liar, and to get out of here. But yeah, you would never do that. You'd be like, okay, I gotta go shower, wash myself clean, take off this clothes, put it away, and then put the new clothes on, right? So when the father says this, like bring the best robe and put it on him, it's to cover him from all of his shame, to cover him from all of the dirtiness, to cover him from all the filth that he's wearing. In other words, God is saying, I will give you a robe. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be fine. You don't have to go shower. You can come to me stinking, nasty, filthy. Come to me broken and worn, and I will cover it all, and you will look professional because you will be wearing my clothes. And then he pricks a ring and he puts it on his finger. We just got done with Valentine's, right? How many girls in here is waiting for a ring? You don't have to raise your hand. You don't have to raise your hand. But why? Why is that ring so important? Because it holds a covenant, right? It signifies that you belong to somebody. Which is why, like, whenever a guy, like, husband, if they come home from a long day of work and they don't have their ring on, like, you get mad, right? I'm pretty sure, like, you do that. Well, my parents personally, they don't have rings because they keep losing them, but but everybody else, you know. Yeah, because it signifies a covenant, and if you don't have it on, it means that you don't belong to nobody. It means that you're free. It means that you're out still looking for somebody, right? And back then, in the olden days, back in the old heritage, families used to have rings to signify their clan. Cái giống vậy thì họ bên mọi lúc play a show bên sẹn này, để mọi lúc play cái show mong đâu, nhưng mà lúc play, si mọi lúc play thì nhiều mong hơn, and so whenever it go, so when the son left, he threw it away, so he wasn't a part of that. But then when he came back, he put him on him and said that this is your family, you are part of this. When people see this ring, they'll know that you are my son. If I direct it, we're going to play on it. Nên chỉ là sảnh mong lâu, sảnh mong hơn, nên sảnh mong Christ này. I think I could do that. So everybody will know I'm no longer hiding that you are. I'm not ashamed of you. I'm not afraid of letting people know that you are my son, you are my daughter, you are part of my family. I don't care that underneath that robe you are disgusting, you are my child. And last but not least, he puts on sandals or shoes. Because back then, who here as a child, I remember as a kid, I used to run outside all the time. Like I used to run on gravel lots. I don't even know. I used to run on gravel. I used to run on pavement. I used to run on like I would find like those little thorny like plants in the middle of the yard. You guys know what I'm talking about? Looks like a flower. Yeah, I don't know what they are. But we used to find out where they are. We will remember where they are in the field because so we'll always remember to dodge it. And so like I remember there was like places we couldn't go. There was places we couldn't go because we had no shoes. So like if they had like really sharp rocks, like when we were swimming, if they had rocks in the water, then I'd be like, I just stay at the shore because it hurts too much. Like we were limited because we had no shoes. But in here, the symbol of the sandals, the symbol of the shoes, is saying that he will protect you no matter where you go. And then now that you have his clothes, you won't need to be ashamed